So we're going to be placing temp sounds for the next 2 days. We only did the chains. There's a bunch of different sounds that we still have to place. And honestly, it might be worth just making a list of all the sounds that we need to place anyway. I have my process that I go through. We're still doing temp sounds. We're not mixing and leveling yet. I know I'm going to have to mix at least on the 31st. But every day we're going to go live for a couple hours, probably like 5 hours at a time. Just going to take bits and pieces of this project out, and you guys are going to watch me do it live. If we need to call the producer or director for any questions, the producer agreed to come on stream and talk to me about it. Today we have a couple goals. One, we need to actually figure, without going through and queuing, we're going to make a list of all of the sounds that definitely need to be placed, and basically like a brainstorm, like a creative session. Going through my 7 stages of sound design, we're going to go through and label the creative sounds that need to be placed as we hit each stage. Pen and paper. That's how we're going to track the sounds that we want to get. So it's kind of like, think of it like a flow chart. You know, we want to sound design everything, right? Within sound design, we want to do the ADR, the character movements, Foley and sound effects, mixing and leveling, design. And then we want to break all of those categories down as we go through this piece. And then after we break all of those down, then we want to see the creative sounds that we can put into that system that we created, also known as the workflow. So we got stage 1. Our listening level, obviously. Stage 2, we are going to do our dialogue / ADR or VO, you know, all that cool shit. Stage 3 is Foley and SFX. Stage 4 will be character movements. Stage 5, ambience and atmosphere, really. Number 6 is design. The 7th stage is mix and level. A lot of people think you can just go in and edit. No, you gotta take notes, you gotta design shit, so you gotta be creative, bro. Let's break this down even more, because we're gonna start listing things out as part of our sound design process. We got design. So these are our 5 categories of sound that we are going to be creating, coming up with, and doing. I'll repeat them. The first one is VO, ADR, which we kind of have unlocked, Foley and SFX, character movements, atmosphere, ambience, and design. Let's go through and list the shit that we want. And we'll start with Foley and SFX. So we already did VO and ADR. We're moving on to Foley and SFX. We're just going to write these down, pen and paper. Foley and SFX, for example, are things like this. Do you hear the chain moving? Foley sounds are real life sounds, like shit that you would expect to hear when they're moving, when characters are moving and stuff. And this is narrative work. This is not marketing material or anything. So there is a little bit of creative leeway in the reasoning behind sounds. So, for example, so he's moving his hand and he's got chains on. That's one of them. What else do we have? So, chains moving. Oh, yeah, I was explaining that. That's one of them. So chains would be one of them. So right here under Foley SFX, I'm going to write chains. Obviously, chains on the hands, chains on the floor, all that stuff. Trying to go through and see what else we got as far as Foley and sound effects. Let's just watch it through. It's only 90 seconds. We do have things like character movement, like when he's moving and you hear the cloth rustling, the garments, his clothing rustling. You'll hear things like that, but that's going to go under character movement. So we'll say cloth / garments. So that's one of the things. Another character movement. So do we see his heel right here? If I go big screen, can you guys see this? You see his heel right here? See how it goes up and touches the ground? We'd want that. We'd want that sound too. That'll go under character movements. That'll be like, we'll call that body contact, and I'm writing that right under character movements. Here we go. Ooh, okay, so we have things like this right here. So he's gonna grab. See how you guys don't see this, but this is what he's doing as a viewer. If you look at his shoulder right here, he comes to grab his hand. Here's his thumb. So see how he kind of grabs on right here? Here's his palm. He wraps on. We have the sound, but we don't have him grabbing. We would like the sound of him grabbing. That would be another character movement. So under design, I think what you want to hear is kind of the hand, like some organism, like bone crunching, or like the tension type of sound. You'll probably want something there. That's your leading sound. That is your high priority sound in this shot. That will go under design. So we'll say body cracking, organism type of sounds. And just so you guys know what I'm referring to, let me give you an example of an organism type sound. Kind of nasty. That's too gushy. So probably stuff like that, like his hand is bending, because that's what's happening in the scene. Anyway, that's what I think about the organism sound, because his hand is kind of cracking and moving. At least that's what I intend to be happening. That's what I think as the sound designer is happening. The director may have other... Yes, hands moving, and I think there's supposed to be an effect there too. That's the other thing, is I should have VFX placeholders. So we're gonna text the producer for VFX placeholders. I'm actually gonna do that right now because I do need to know where those are at and just an idea of what's going on so I can cue those. So I'm texting them right now. Do you have the VFX cues? So just so you guys see me, do you have the VFX cues for this timeline or mock-ups? That way I can prep the sound. That's the organism sound. What else we got going on? Probably another organism sound on the back, but we know that. Again, we're just going for cues. We're not really going for implementation right now. We're kind of just going through and figuring out what we want. You definitely want a whoosh sound effect on this push-in. That's obvious. I mean, every time you see one of these in any clip or video or film, anything narrative, or especially advertising, they love whooshes and swipes and shit. You want to put those in because they're really great for creating focus. For example, here we go. It's almost like a big payoff. What up? Chains, obviously. You got intense music, ambience, atmosphere, obviously. Your ambience and atmosphere is kind of gonna go with the scene, go with the tension. So like cave droplings, droplings, echoes. There's gonna be a lot of fucking reverb because we're in close quarters on the concrete walls. Echoes, reverb, probably high whistles. No, I don't know. We won't get that detailed. Honestly, we'll probably just wing the ambience just because we want to focus on the character, so we'll probably use ambience last. Okay, we got monster growls. Feet rumbling, feet walking, running. Okay, we got gate opening. That'll be fully. So the other thing is when they're running, you hear all their garments, their body armor, the metal, the sticks. You hear all that running with them. The cling every time they run. The lanterns. We're going to hear the lanterns.
I think he's...
So him kind of touching the gate, blood splatter, obviously, the attacking noises, it'll probably be all in design. And then I think he drops his stuff, because look, the spear's in his hand in this shot, not in his hand in this shot, so we have to imply that he threw it. So fully effects, spear hitting the ground. So yeah, we got a good list of stuff. Not bad. Design, you'll start hearing design more once you get all of the main things done, like Foley, character, and VO. Once you get those three main things done, all of a sudden design and atmosphere, they become kind of secondhand. So this right here, so you guys see this shot back here? What's supposed to be happening is that there's lightning. So we'll probably throw that in there just so we have an idea. That's why you want to picture lock when you do this shit, just so y'all know. Continue through, we just made a list for all of our sound design. Right here, we're going to go through it right now fully. So we got the chains done. We want the gate opening, the body armor running. We want lanterns. We got the blood splatters. We got the spears hitting the ground. And then we have, for character movements, we have cloth, garments moving as they're moving. Then we have body, touching floor. Then I got grabs. Then I got feet walking and running. And then for ambience, I have cave droplings, echoes, reverb, obviously. And that is less specific because we're not ready for that part anyway. And then design, I have body cracking, organism, attacking. So on top of the Foley and character movements, the design is going to support the Foley and character movements. So let's start queuing. So the first one on our list, we did chains. Okay, now we're going to move on to what's more important than chains. What's the big one? There's a lot of chains in this scene. Probably footsteps is the next one. So we'll do footsteps right now. Footsteps is a big one. That is the hardest one to fucking do, but that's okay. So let's do it. The way I like to do footsteps is I like to separate all my timeline by character, meaning this character's footsteps go on these tracks, and this character footsteps go on those tracks. And then I like to separate left and right by one track. So each character will have two tracks, a left foot track and a right foot track. That's what we're going to do right now. So as you can see, these are all chains or characters. We're actually going to put in a track right here. And we'll do one more. Actually, let's do one more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lock this layer. Okay, and we're going to put our feet right here. So how many footsteps do we have throughout this? Let's go through. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to here. I have a footsteps pack that I bought or got for free somewhere, and we'll just use that. How many footsteps? Holy shit. Okay, so those are like tennis shoes, sneakers. That's okay. Let's go through and let's see. Damn, that's a lot. Yes, it is a lot. And every single thing that I just said on that piece of paper is going to look like this. This is chains only, but we also have gate, body armor, lanterns. So there it is. Sound design is a lot, dude. You got to go through the ringer, otherwise you don't get that high quality shit. The footsteps do need to be slow and quiet. Here's the thing though. is that the footsteps, they're specific to the kind of cloth or the kind of clothing that they're wearing. So what's around the foot when they're stepping, it's going to be a huge thing to consider when we look at these footsteps. Obviously, we have one character here, right? Here's our number one character. And look at that boot. Look how heavy matted that is with stuff. So it's not really going to be like a heel touching the concrete. It's not going to sound like that. It's going to sound like gritty. Actually, I would be okay with that because there is concrete right under it, right? So I actually don't mind that footstep mixed in with like a little bit of cowboy boot. Yep, maybe these three. The combination of these three would be really good. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here with footsteps because it's a quick impact. You're going to see a spike in the audio level. So we're going to look for the spikes in these clips. And I haven't even looked at it. Yeah, so see these are all of the spikes and we just want to pick one of these. See, these are great. We'll use these. So we'll start here, right? And they're like kind of scattering across the floor. They're not doing anything insane. So we're actually going to lower these a lot, 15. We're not going to put these right here. We're going to put them up here. And we're going to call all these feet. Go here, and let's actually start cueing. So, boom, contact with the ground right there. So we want our first one here. Okay, second one here. Second piece of contact right here. Might need more. We might need 4 layers for each person. So let's add more tracks. I want that. So we'll come here, we'll bring this down. And we're just literally going to scope our way through. And we do need to sync them up. That is part of the game right there. So that one seems like it's a little heavy. So there's our third step. And our third step is going to come right here. And then we have another one right here. Now think about the character of these footsteps as I'm doing this. And what I mean by character is how do they interact with our environment? How do they aid to the story? Right now they sound fake, but once we put some reverb on them, now it sounds like he's in a cave. Now you have footsteps in a cave. There's more character to footsteps in a cave than just footsteps. Another word for character could be like detail or explanation or reasoning or purpose, right? The purpose of, there's more story behind footsteps in a cave than there are to just footsteps. So when we create the EQing and designing of these sounds, we're going to create some character by adding things like an echo that create the reverb off the walls and shit because it shows that he's in a cave, and then pairing that with the visual, you got yourself a good fucking story, bro. And you know what? Those footsteps sound very like, okay, I want to get into it. So all of the footsteps that we have created so far are footsteps that we could visually see. Now we have to get implied footsteps. So an implied footstep would be like right here. We see him marching forward. One. So I think there's one right there. So that's like a scruffle footstep. So we'll go get these scruffle footsteps. Those are a little intense. So let's try that. That works actually very well. That's kind of what I have so far. Again, we're queuing. None of these sounds are going to stay. They're all going to get wiped out again. It's just to queue it all just to see what we have on the timeline. Right? And this footstep is a confident footstep. He feels confident and he's gone. He did it. They scared him away. That one seems a little too confident, not gonna lie, but you know, that's how you build character into the sounds. That's a confident step. So it looks like he has 2 steps. And that crunch, I want to get rid of that crunch, but I do like how soft it is. It's like a soft landing. That's good. With everything that you see here on screen adds to how you feel, and that's our job as a director or filmmaker, is to make you feel a certain way. And if you feel that certain way, that's the emotional journey we want to take you on. That's what makes it good, is that you feel the emotions that we intend on you feeling. Does that make sense? And unfortunately, if I didn't care about just the footsteps, that takes an element away from it. So why do that? Why take an element away from making it good? Why not just go fucking all in? Why not go balls to the wall and make everything good? Does that make sense? Or make everything add to that emotional journey, add to that emotional context or that intention. So yes, the level of detail, it's very important. What's hard is being able to explain that and articulate that concept or idea to someone else. And that's what I'm learning to do. And that's why I like top of it. That's why I like editing in front of you guys, because I get to explain my ideas and my thoughts as they're coming through my fucking head. Honestly, sometimes they sound dumb as shit. Or at least I think I do, but you guys actually understand what I'm saying. And so all of a sudden it changes my way of thinking, saying, no, that was actually a good way of saying it. Or, Joey, you're dumb, say it a different way. And it forces me to exercise, my sentence, my vocabulary to explain what it is that I'm trying. That's why in here I was like, Lita, dude, oh my God, you come up with the perfect words to describe the emotion and the feeling on screen. So yeah, that's my tangent. Okay, so you got one. He's really confident. Look at the way he throws that pole down, We'll definitely have to put that in, but he steps with that pole. He leans into that step, so we're going to do the same here. He's kind of coming to a close.
I think he's...
And you know what? But like that, just like think of it. Just listen to this. Like it goes up and down. That's the feeling. It goes up and down. It's coming to a close, but we're not coming to a close. We're coming to a brutal murder. It's about leading your audience with the not leading your audience, a little bit of that, but more giving them the right information to feel the right thing. One. So it's more of a leap. It's more of a jump, actually. One, two. Yeah, so those ones are hard. Those are implied, but we're going to do our best to kind of find them. And then there's a big bang right here, like a big stomp. That's not really a big stomp, but we'll take it. Somebody gave me the idea of pitch shifter. Let's try that real quick just to see. I'm not really supposed to be putting effects on. I don't put effects on until later on, but I do just want to hear what that sounds like. Put it on the clip itself instead of in the track mixer. So let's look at that. Let's see. We'll just take it down. So let's go like this, and let's just put these on here. I don't like it on that one. The pitch shifter on this one's actually not too hot. And let's just cross dissolve those. They sound like shit. So we're actually really late on that. So one step. I think we just need one step. Let's see. I think it's more of a lift instead of a step. Like if my hand's the ground, he kind of lifts it up, right? Because that's what this sound is. That's that noise. Him lifting his foot up. Yeah. Okay. So maybe he lifts into a jump, right? He lifts. Yeah, okay, so we gotta time that up. Yeah, I like that better. It just doesn't logically make sense. But then again, we don't really need the logic. We just need the emotion. That's the important part. And the reason why I say we don't need the logic is because when you're watching it for the first time, you're not thinking about how many steps did he have? Meaning you're not focused on that. Meaning you're not going to be aware of how many steps it took. It can't be so bad, right? To where it's like this. Like that clearly doesn't make sense. But we might buy that. Like you don't need the logical here so long as you just convey the emotion. Because the emotion will drive you further than logic when it comes to telling stories. I hope that makes sense. I hope I made that's clear. And honestly, they will be way more fun, especially after the mix. Ooh, I think we found it. I think that's the one we want. Yeah, and so what's going to happen is when we get to the gate, when we get to those sounds, we'll hear the gate rattle, right? There's a huge bang there because he's trying to get out, right? So he's very frantic. His movements are all over the place, making loud noise. All shit's going out the window. His survival instincts kind of kick in. And it's going to be a boom, like a huge bang. And it'll be deep, it'll be dark, and so... And he's like shaking it. Yeah, we're definitely going to throw all that in. We got footsteps. Footsteps done. Feet running. We did that. Now let's focus on what are the other ones? What are the other ones we want? Cloth garment movements. Garments. Where do we want garments? We want it close to our character dialogue. Let's do it right under footsteps. So we'll do it right here. So we'll add some tracks. Garments. We're not going to have a lot. We'll probably have max. Yeah, we'll probably max out here in these layers. We'll lock this layer to separate it. We're going to call this garments, cloth, shit like that. So let's go through. Okay, so we're going to throw in some garments on this layer right here, and we'll open that up so we can see it all. So cloth, we want some cloth rustling. So all I'm going to do... Dude, that sound is going to come... Oh my god, that's exactly the sound we want. So I have it. I'm so happy. You know what? I'm so excited about this sound. I'm just gonna go straight to where I want it. Hold on. Like they're so empty right here, but with these, oh, I want to do it so bad. So let's just start here. I want to do it. Okay, we need a couple of those sounds actually. See, like that already makes so much more sense to me. Does that make sense to you? It adds way more character. You actually get to hear the shit that's on their body. Yeah, see, we want more than just that one. So let me see. So it's 30. So I have a couple copies of that. I don't know if I want to put it down. Maybe that. We could use that. And we're going to clean it up. We are going to clean this sound up. This is not going to be final law. Yeah, it gets a little tough there at the end. Maybe we don't even throw that in. Did y'all fucking hear that? That sounded smooth for no intricate editing. Dude, that sounded so fucking good. And how it just leads right into the next scene, that's so beautiful. It is way more realistic with these sounds. And yes, they're overbearing. And it'll probably sound more like this. It'll be closer to here. Makes it sound so much more realistic. And on top of this, we're in a cave, right? We're in a cave. So there's going to be some reverb and there's going to be a little bit of echo. You know what, let's just do it. I want to do it so bad. Okay, so let's do this. The way I'm going to do it though, no, we'll just do it on the clip. It just makes sense to do it on the clip. So let's just solo this clip. This is when we get into actually the design part and the EQing part. And I might not even use surround reverb. I'm just picking the first one that comes up off my head. Yeah, no, not what we want. We want a reverb. So let's just loop the playback. We'll add a little bit back to it. So see, we're losing a lot of that. And so it pushes it back into the scene. It makes it a little more realistic. It might be a little too much, actually. But when it's mixed in with the ominous ambience background and the music and all that stuff, it's going to sound sweet. It's going to sound nice. So there's a little bit of cloth and garments there. So we got a little garment bag pull there. I like that 32. So we might reuse the 32. That's even a lot. I know that's a lot. So we're definitely going to dampen that or bring the gain down. Yeah, it's those little crackles. Yeah, we don't like it. So we're actually going to use some whooshes, those dowels. The dowel whoosh. It's the khaki that we want. Yeah. What I'm showing you right now is our sound effects from, I think these are Triumph Digital. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one. You hear it all. It's a little tough, I'm not gonna lie. We might have to dampen that one out a little bit too with reverb, but I like that. I like that part a little more. I don't know if we have anything soft like that. We might have to do some Foley to get that, because it's not really whooshes that we want. Oh, for that one, we don't want a whoosh. Let's go to the actual drive of... Maybe I got some cloth sounds somewhere. And then we have another pull. We'll leave that as is. The next one is one of my favorites. This one. Yeah. Maybe if I could slow it down to 90. Yeah, and then we just take that way down, I think. There it is. Boom, we got it. Oh, that's what I wanted. Yes, it's right there. Okay, so it is going to require a D. And you know what's going to pair well with that is a gasp. A gasp. Gasp. Get the spares. Get the spares. Dude, I love it. We found it. I know I'm just going to keep the effects on there for now. When I bust all this shit later, we'll just have to keep that in mind. So let me label that. We'll label it. No, not green. Do I have a... Go yellow. Yellow's pretty clear. It means, dude, something's here. Just because I don't want to... Let's try something. Let's see if those effects... Let's just take them off. See the difference. Yeah, no. You need the effects because you need to get rid of that low frequency, and then you can't let it sit out. because it is a subtle thing. You can't let it ring out. And honestly, I don't even use deverb that often too, but I think we probably want it even more. Yeah, and it's very heavy, but I think that's gonna be our best bet. Also, if you see my eyes going like this, it's because I'm looking at the phone to see if there's comments. Yeah, that's what, dude. I don't know if you guys can even hear that. Yeah, the audio's all the way up. I can't. That's what we want. Okay, so the sound design it's coming there. It's getting there. Like, we're starting to understand what the sounds are supposed to do, right? Because they're starting to come in and play all together. Silent. It just goes. What? And it just turns. It's so good. It's so good, dude. So we did body parts for the most part. Footsteps are fine. Let's get rid of ADR for 2 seconds, because those are not going to be that loud either. What we're going to do is we're actually going to cut this in half. So we actually also need footsteps here. Oh, I think he has footsteps here. That's right. I don't like that one. So we got to add footsteps right there. We have those. I don't like those though. We'll get rid of this part. Wait, actually, hold on. What is this? And we'll add these in. So that actually sounds like we're walking. We want, and those ones come to a lull. So we're in footsteps. Let's see. I think we're kind of there. I think that's okay. So much better. Yeah, I agree, Lita. I think that's the way it's got to be. And then we'll fill that with ambience, this part right here. And then the swinging lantern. Yeah, we'll get all that. And then we'll fill that in now. Oh, so we have one more step right here that we should probably... Yeah, we could just take out that last one. And then we could blend this one down here. It's that right there that I'm trying to get. See him lift his leg? See him lift his leg right here? I think it's best right here. We'll just let that be a visual blip for now. What we'll do is we'll do a room tone, an ambience room tone. And what room tone is just the sounds happening around you. That's room tone. So we'll definitely throw that in at the end, just because we don't have that. Let's go rip and let's search this library. There's something to that, but it's like left and right channel. I don't like that. Boom, we found it. That is the perfect piece of sound. Ooh, right there, like a rip. Like the rip is what makes him look. So good, dude. I don't think the ripping makes sense there, but I do. We might be ruining it. We might be overdoing it, but that's okay. We'll keep it like this. Oh, right there on the gasp? Yeah, on the gasp. You could do like half an inhale, okay? So we have some ADR here. So let me see what we actually do have. We're going to have to add another layer, which is totally fine. Add track. Yes, that works, but that type, the tone, the vibe, the sound of it does not match our character. Oh, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. So let's go back to our garment. Oh, footsteps. Hold on. Footsteps. Put that into as effects.
I think he's...
And we'll design it and make it sound like he's getting the shit kicked out of him. We'll do all that too. So So see how when you add the garments on top of the footsteps, all of a sudden it makes a little more sense than just having just the footsteps? Right, but then when you add the garments... So let's move on back to the edit. We have 3 check marks that we got through in 6 hours. That's okay. Let's do grabs, because grabs and body. So anything that's like skin on skin, shit like that, grabbing of the poles, you know, putting in that ding, that metal sound. So let's do that right now. And these grabs are part of character movements, right? So I'm kind of going between Foley and character movements. Let's go back to the beginning, right? We're going back through the fucking process. We're going... So that, I think there should be a little bit of grabbing there. And when I say grabbing, I mean the monster kind of moving and slapping, you know, his foot slaps a little bit. So let's see if we have any grabs. I know the grabs that I have are kind of intense, and I don't want intense grabs, but that's okay. We're going to try to ease them out. So we'll see. Because we have cloth grabs too, and we have skin grabs. They're really harsh, but we're going to go for it anyway. So see how I'm able to do, like, one of the things that I realized was staying organized, because when you're organized, shit's so much faster. So I'm really happy you guys kind of jumped in on this one, and we are able to kind of see how I operate from going out of the software to in the software. I think it's really important that it's not talked a lot about. Okay, I think that's the softest one we have, so we're going to use it. So kind of like he's sliding on the ground. Yeah, these ones we might have to fully, because these are very specific. See how it rubs the ground when he gets up? Like, it's gonna be a hard one. Let's skip that then, because I see that being a dead end. So we could do this one though, right? Because he goes that right there. We could do that. What is this? A ripping sound? Oh, I remember putting that in. You know what? I'm actually not liking the ripping sound now. So I'm actually gonna take it out. There's really no purpose there. It doesn't ring clear that he's ripping his garments, you know? Not as much as this one. You know? So I think we're gonna take the rip out there, and then we're going to put in the grab. Kind of just going back. When you go back and go through shit like that, you gotta get rid of it. Even though we thought it was so cool in the moment, gotta get rid of it. It's still not... It's not clear that he's grabbing his hand. But you know what? It's okay if the audience is like, what the fuck just happened? Then they see his hand and be like, oh, he grabbed his hand. You know, that I'm okay with that. We try to stay away from things like that when the audience has to make sense of what they saw. We want to do our best to make sure they make sense of it in the moment, unless we have a specific reason not to do that. I like this one. Keep in mind that's going to be a metal sounding pull too. Let's see if we can get any pull dings. Oh, you guys hear that? You guys, come on, that's a great fit. And the more I watch it, the less it fits. But off first watch, dude. Guess what that noise is gonna fucking be. Guess what that noise is gonna be. That's our gate, dude. Alright, so let's see if it works. A squeak would help. Opening? Yes, opening. You goddamn right. Right, so let's try it. That's weird. We have to make it fit, but I'm actually okay with it. The thing is, though, is that it's very short, right? So it's a very short gate opening. So you have to understand kind of the... That's so clean, dude! Dude, that is the best gate opening noise that we pulled out of our ass, dude. Perfect match. I got goosebumps. It was so good. I fucking love that, dude. Oh my god, that's so clean. See, but now these footsteps are way too loud compared to that. We gotta push the footsteps back. We could do it by lowering the gain, but what we really want to do is add some reverb to it. Yeah, and then it kind of cuts off. But and again, we're gonna fill that. I love the like iron ring out. Oh my god, dude. We're so good at this stuff. Do I dare ruin it? Do I dare ruin it and add some of that? What the fuck? You guys see it too, right? You guys see the gate going up and down? Come on. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And now that I actually, maybe we lower it a little bit, the flub, because the flub does not create more movement, like more energy. It just flubs out. And so the flub right now sounds like it's kind of overpowering. So we want to be able to balance that. Yeah, that's what it is. But now, what does that say about the gate? Like, if we want to overthink the shit out of it, if we want to dive deep, what does that say about the gate? Is the gate too weak, right? And is the gate like? When I say too weak, I mean, is it a shitty gate? Meaning, is this dungeon kind of just a shit place, or is this like a really big locked up dungeon, right? Because if it's a really big, thick locked up dungeon, nobody gets out of this. It adds more, right? It adds more to our fucking demon god that it's actually super fucking powerful, you know? And it's a subtle, it's all subconscious. This thought is all subconscious. You don't even think this while watching it, but it just all adds to it. And then we have a little bit of a tap there. See how he just nubs it and he pushes it? I think that adds some good character. Let's see, ring out, like a metal ring out. Let me see. See, now you gotta like start describing sounds. Y'all want to get, so this is how you create emotion. This is how you create a vibe. You ready? Is this sound right here, right? As soon as he opens it, this fades in. And we haven't even gotten to this part yet. See how that creates tension? See how that creates an atmosphere? The ambience is going to set all of this up for us. So see how the ambience, see how those sounds add to the character of the environment, which adds to the emotion and what you feel, right? Because again, I'm trying to articulate it in a way that you can see how it builds up and how it gets you the result that it gets. I hope that makes sense. But that's the fucking magic. That's the goal, is when you have all of these things together, they create that feeling. You just have to make sure you're trying to get the right feeling. That's why you need to know what the fucking feeling is that you're trying to get. It's all coming together slowly, but when we get there, you guys will actually sort of see it come together. Okay, so this is not a grab. This is actually more of a set piece, right? Let's steal. Let's steal from what we did. Right, grab your arm. There's almost too much khaki whoosh here. I'm going to take the khaki whoosh down, and I know I shouldn't be doing this. I should just be... No, we gotta add a little bit back. We gotta hear it. Okay, guys. So, not a lot of grabs here. We definitely have grabs in terms of here, right? Him fucking slapping the... So we'll throw those in. And it's kind of, so it's a mixture of sounds, though. Now it's the slap and the concrete. And it's mixed with the sound of the chain. I want those to ring out so bad. Okay, so we need, so maybe like it's under rocks. So we might have to combine sounds like a footstep. And the only reason we have to combine sounds is because I know what I have. I don't think I have like dirt crumbling under the. Let's see. We'll go dirt. It's like that's too much dirt. There's something in there. We'll decide on that. I want his hands. See all that debris? See all this debris on the ground? I want to hear the crunch under his hands as he... There we go. Food, egg, sure. So now the other thing we need is the hand. Let's look at punch. Are there any... I have a lot of punch sounds. Because now we have to get creative and now we have to like mix stuff together. I know I have a body pack somewhere. Well, okay, let's think about the material. Concrete. See, we're getting there now. And what we'll do is we'll take the low ends of the foot, right? Because that's a pretty bassy. We'll take the low ends and we'll replace it with a slap. All right, so we're going to use these sounds to mix into that. So we're going to have to build our own sound. That's okay, though. And we're going to build it in grabs. So obviously we're going to take that one. And we might need a couple more layers to build this, though. And the only reason why we have to build it is because we don't have the actual sound that we want. So when we create this sound, it'd be best if we exported this and kind of added it to our list. And all of this is going to get reverberated out. Okay, let's try the cloth grab mixed in with it. Let's just see what it sounds like. See, that sounds way too intense. Maybe for this one it makes sense. We kind of want it high pitched. We'll have to EQ it, make it sound like the way we want. And we're gonna let the skin actually take the lead, meaning that'll probably be the loudest out of all of them. So right there, our chains are off. So see how that's kind of almost like too poignant? It's too pungent. It's too prominent. It's too in the face. Yes, playing with the dB levels will help, but sometimes with stuff like this, you really just want to take the low ends out. And we want to push it back into the scene. So if we solo this, maybe it's the footsteps. Maybe we just take that out. There's just a lot happening. Even these chains are extremely loud. But I think let's start with that. I think that'll be how we... All right, so this one's a soft one, obviously, right? Because the visual, what he looks like. Right, and then let's do the egg crackle. Maybe there. Let's try that one. Oh, that's a lot. Did not mean to bring that much into it. So see how you start to build the character of the scene? That one's a little harsher too. He's coming in a little hot. So that's why it's really important to really, as a director, understand how you want your characters to sound. Because if you have that, it makes it easier, one, for the sound designer, but two, it needs to add to his development. I like that. Kind of, he whips it forward on that. I like that one way better. Unfortunately, these are all the same sound, and it's very obvious now, once you know where the sounds are supposed to be. If you put a sound in and it starts to sound wrong, it means you put it in the right spot. You just have the wrong type of sound. Ooh. The producer is actually calling me right now, so give me... Oh yeah, you want to rip the project?
No, I was going to say you were right on the money. I don't know if there's a way to pitch shift for our chains, but if there was a way to make them heavier, that would be...
Are you listening to the live right now?
On my computer and not my phone.
Yeah. With these chains, like, describing the... By the way, everybody who's on the phone is Michael. He's the producer of this entire short film, meaning he is the boss. He's the man in charge. Yeah, so these chains, they're kind of lackadaisical. And what I mean by that is that they don't... They're like, I feel like jingle bells, you know?
Oh, I mean, I did exactly this test. So, because before, when we originally thought we were going to have access to, like, the state-of-the-art Foley room.
Oh, you don't get the Foley room?
I had all these chains picked out, and so I got to test exactly the sounds of all these. There's, like, the...
So you did! You guys did have the conversation. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw it all the way through. I had chandelier chains, which is fun for some high pitched frequencies, but most of the time not good enough. And then like giant heavy chains that you might use to like secure or something on like a titch or something like that.
And that's kind of where I was coming from.
Better, and they sound way closer, but they have this other issue where they now lose a lot of the higher frequencies in the sound of the chain, and it's almost like it's also not enough in that way where it sounds kind of limp, I guess is the way I would
Yes, but we can get rid of some of those frequencies, and then meaning the higher pitch frequencies, and let them drag almost like stones, you know, like Hercules kind of dragging stones. And
and then one very important thing about this character is like the whole story that this thing is based off of is like literally a paragraph description that they wrote for this. And at the very end of the story of this paragraph that they wrote for this character, it says there still wears the broken shackles as a warning that none may hold him, but inside remains a prisoner. Two minds inhabit a single form in a nameless creature, malevolent, cunning, pretending to obey his master. Okay, I don't know where the other line is. Wears these chains to kind of scare people, so you get to hear this rattling sound before you even see him. Almost the equivalent of like Jason, which would be in this case just the rattling of these chains.
It's like a theme. It's his theme.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So these chains and this sound that we craft definitely is an opportunity to try to do a little bit of building there where we can make it really menacing and creepy. So if if we need to do some, like if you're doing placeholder stuff right now, and if we need to do some like very precise Foley stuff, then that's something that we could probably.
So I'll spend like 5 more hours on it. I'll try to get everything cued. That way you guys can hear kind of my direction and the creative in my head. And then if you guys are like, no, Joey, like for example, the chains, no, Joey, these chains don't describe, all of that type of conversation. Let's have those conversations before Monday.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So that we're all on the same page, locked in.
Yeah, that way by the time you hit your Foley room.
Yeah. So, and then I have one more huge pain in the ass thing.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for it?
Yep, do it.
A time code slip. You ready?
All right, what's the time code?
I don't know how much of it's changing or not changing.
Okay.
It's only one.
Okay.
It's only one time, or it's one shift, but it's one huge pain in the ass shift.
Okay.
So I'm sending you an email with this, so you can literally just copy and paste it into the time code. Like you could just click on the time code and you'd be able to copy this.
Okay.
But everything up until the 30-second mark is good. We're locked. We're all set.
Okay.
After that, though,
up until 30 seconds.
Yes, it's technically 1 hour or whatever, because it's, the way that it counts.
So all of this is locked.
31:09. Everything before that does not change at all. And then starting at 43:12, everything after that is pushed exactly, and I counted, I verified every single shot, exactly 1 second.
Okay, so 24
so that
frames?
means that you would have to highlight the entire timeline starting after 43.
Okay,
and push it 1 second.
Okay, that's not that big of a deal.
I mean, it would be awful if it was like, oh, we lengthened one shot, and then we shortened one shot, and then we lengthened this one.
Yeah,
but
okay.
This one, since it's literally everything is exactly 1 second pushed, then you should be able to achieve that sync. But, so I went ahead and I set up the timeline, and I have a new Premiere timeline if you would like to open that up and to just copy it from where I have it, or it wouldn't be too bad, I guess, on your end if you knew exactly where the time code is. But I have the new, truly no more dicking around, and I guess you can explain to your viewers that this is, I mean, they're going to see how much of a pain in the ass it is to do this, of why you do not break picture lock.
Yeah, and I was telling them that too. I was like, you're supposed to, well, I think I told them that yesterday, not today, but with picture lock, you want to lock it up so we don't have to move any of these little clicks around.
I mean, you're going to have the perfect example of why you don't do that, which is unfortunate that it's me teaching everybody the bad lesson that this is, I mean, I guess another lesson.
That's okay. You're the poster child.
Yeah, you get to make a new lesson out of this one. Like, do not break picture lock, because it's exactly this reason. I mean, fortunately, we won't be in an issue where, audio starts to slip, or like there's a hair or a frame or two off of like dialogue or something like that, because it's all exactly a second, so it's kind of low stakes. But
that's okay.
It is annoying. So I'm going to go ahead and send you over that version.
I think, if anything, just send that to me sooner, just so I could start now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have that email set up right now. I wasn't quite sure. I was like, I saw you get up to answer the door, and I was like, shoot, now's my chance to call him.
Good break.
And
hopefully they're following along.
Yeah, when they're following along, telling me, like, this is what happens when a stupid director and a stupid producer can't make up their mind.
No, dude, that's okay. I'll probably, can you just send me the real locked 480?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes, for sure. I'll send you the real locked 480 and that Premiere file. So if you didn't want, I don't know if you've already memorized, so I don't know if you want to just copy the timeline or the audio cues, or you can decide however you like to.
Okay. No, sounds good. Me and my audience will figure it out. Just because we're losing a little bit, I don't think we're losing as much as we think. But look at all this work we've done. See how if we just go one step at a time. That's it. Just one step at a time. See how it starts to build itself. See how you actually don't need to be able to refer to you one step at a time, you start to build. That's all it takes. It's slow growth. Picture lock. Hey, Joey, we have finally locked in the cut. Here's the updated sound design Premiere file for you to download and compare. I'm super sorry in advance. We did end up going with the hand shot instead of the boots version, which means the slip time code's 1/3 of the way. Okay, that's fine. Your time code, the lanterns entering now becomes 44. Okay, this means everything needs to be pushed exactly 1 second for the remainder of the timeline. Good job. So this is the new project file we're downloading, so we're going to throw that back into our organization, or back into our project folder that we created yesterday. Let's save this one. Okay, we're going to close it. Now we're going to open up our project folder, LifeStealer. Okay, so here's the picture lock that we were using. This is the new picture lock. Picture lock V6 480. So here's the version 7. We're going to throw this now into old. Okay, we're going to replace that. Sounds good. Premiere. LifeStealer. That is no longer the Premiere file we will be using. This is the new one. Actually, let's label this red before we throw it in there. We're going to keep both, just in case we need to refer back to that. That's okay. Okay, this is the new one. Let's see what's different. Because, again, it's not going to have any of the work we put in there. Here's the new lock. So let's watch the new lock with what he's given me. And this is the new lock inside of Premiere, by the way. That's the castle. Here we go. Okay, so Michael just texted me. He said make the castle offline and remove it. So see how empty it is without the sounds? Oh, we were with the hand. Okay. Also, Michael, are we masking out that shot? Meaning, are we masking out the monster in that shot? I want that shot to be longer, Michael. I want that. As the sound designer, I demand we make I demand we make this shot longer. I think he is an unrepresented character, a misrepresented character. He does not have enough screen time. I think he needs to show longer. I also think it adds a lot of emotion, right? We finally give him a little bit of a say, and at the same time that acts as we're breathing, and then we cut to him to confirm that we're breathing, right? New angle, new information, and that gives us a justification for this line.
I think he's...
And so it's even more of a setup and more of a build-up. Oh, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So here's why this shot is kind of going to be rough. The sound design is going to matter so much in this shot. One, because we're close up, so now we have very clear visuals of what's going on. So it's going to be easier for us to say, oh, that does not sound right at all. So that's why this close-up is very important. It's one of the only close-ups we have, actually, in the entire shot, huh? But yeah, that's our first close-up. So our sound design is really going to matter on that close-up specifically. And then we have this close-up too, which we got effects going on there. That's a good one, and we need to get some more. We need to get some more AUR from him. Okay, cool. So I get it. We're gonna reopen up this one. Now, what we're gonna do? We're not gonna delete anything we've done. Okay, we're not deleting anything we've done. All we're gonna do is we're going to go to our sequence right here. We're gonna select it, Command C, Command V. We're not gonna delete anything we've done because if we need to refer back to it for whatever reason, say Michael, the producer, Brent, and the director get together and like, you know what? No, we love the boot shot. Let's keep that in, and they do it last second. We have this to throw it in and to give the producer and the director the creative freedom. So we need to keep what we don't delete. We don't delete what we do. We do not delete. We save. Saving does require space, so get a hard drive. But all we do is duplicate it like this, and we're just going to throw this into references so we can refer back to it. All right, LifeStealer sound design. This is V6. Now, this is the new one. We are going to rename this V7. Then we are going to import our new version 7 that he sent to us, which is this one right here. Boom. Now we drag and drop this over. So now we're just going to bring this all the way over, and we're going to make sure everything still matches up. Is at the same time there. So this whole conversation that me and Michael had was about that right there. That one frame mishap. That was the entire conversation we had on the phone. It was about that one frame. Just to put it into perspective, how much conversation is had per frame of content. Guess what happens to the old one? Goodbye. Okay, so now let's double check. Let's see how bad we're fucked. Sequence V13, LIFESTEALER, okay. And let's watch. Feel the tension, guys? We're doing it. We're building the tension. So see how it gets all fucked? Watch this. Kind of works even though it's off. Everything's pushed to second this way. So keep in mind, we are off. We are off. It is supposed to be not synced.
I think he's...
Okay, so we are off. We have to push. Let's refer back to Michael's email so we can resync manually. So we actually need to go to 144.12. That is where we should refer to. Let's bring in version 6. Bring the video back down. We'll put it right on top of everything, right? So if we take this off, see, so that's the difference. So let's actually take this frame. Let's lock everything except version 7. Let's put version 7 on top, and we'll do it this way. We're going to take this time code right here. All of this is going to stay locked, okay? This part, we're going to move. This part to connect with the 144. So we need to match this frame of V7. So now we have to match this first frame. That first frame of version 7 is now supposed to be here. That proves I was right. We were right. Right? And we'll just double check when we get there. So this is how the audio is going to shift. Because we do have to shift the audio. That's the ultimate. We have to shift the audio, not the video. We're just using the video to make sure that the shift is correct.
And he's...
Yeah. So we're right. Let's go back to his grabs. Let's double check it all. Worked out. Yes, it is. It is working out. The conversation we had with Michael actually wasn't one frame. It was 23.98 frames. So that's the conversation me and Michael had. It was about all of that right there. Now, what do we do about this overlap? So now all of that's linked. Okay, so let me think this through. Because there's a new shot. Obviously, there's going to be new shit. Okay, that's what it is. So this is linked. We're going to keep that. Okay, this. Now we select all here. Okay, we leave this. Well, I don't mind remixing that one or re-putting that one down. Now we mix this to connect back to here. Now what we do is we bring it back down. And so this is what they added. But now if we watch it all the way through, everything should fit. Synced. Delete, Lita. Yep, we did it, Lita. This right here, this was kind of like a demonic because he's smiling like this is what he wants to be doing. So I was imagining like ADR, like a yes, like a something like that, just to give off some more character and give off some more development within the first few seconds because and then that monster wail here. I was thinking like a high-pitched banshee cry, like or some shit like that. I don't know what kind of demon or what kind of creature that's supposed to be when referring to Dota, so whatever it's supposed to be, maybe we can put in something there. But that, again, that was my creative input. Okay, so right there we have some interrupted sound, and it just happened to be our door. Got it. So all of this stuff right here, since we got rid of the running scene, again, we're going to delete it on this timeline, but we still have it in the other one. Ooh, I like that even better, though. Woo! It goes, woo! It kind of opens up. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Okay. Boom, right there. So I know that's a step right there. So I think let's just redo the footsteps here. But we'll use those sounds. So we'll go here. Oh, I want play audio while scrubbing. I want that. Oh, we need actually the gate opening. Like he's got to unlock it or so we got to show that, and that was supposed to be the gate screech. So we do need to do that. I'm thinking to start this scene off, boom, he puts the stake down, right? Meaning, okay, boom, we're at the door, stake down. And when I say stake, I mean his little spear that he's holding. And then it looks like we have an implied footstep. Boom, right there. So that should go off. So now we have to do the second guy, right? So the second guy was probably down here. Okay, so let's get rid of you. Let's solo those. And I'll get back to all this over here. But we just want to make sure that our guys have footsteps. Oh, let's just take with what we have in the timeline. Okay, so the next footstep should be... It's hard to see because it is 480, but that's okay. Yeah, I think those footsteps will work. So let's watch it. Those are good. Fucking love that. Cool. All right, we do have some implied footsteps here, like I said before. See how the footsteps get a little like slower and slower and slower because the footsteps create the tension because we go boom, 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 because we're trying to figure out what the fuck's there. I don't know, that fourth one just doesn't do it for me. I don't do it. So footsteps covered, right? No, that was ugly. That was an ugly one. Let's go, but let's just kind of copy this one. This one, I think we only need two. We need more context. Ooh, no. See, with the context we have, so let's do it again. These ones are kind of harsh. But yeah.
I think he's...
So listen to the room tone on this. This is a big deal right here. Listen to the room tone and listen how it fades out once they realize they're okay, even though they're not.
I think he's...
See how it just gets, that might be too loud because now you can hear it. We'll go to -5. But the tension, and then watch it dip right now. It's dipping. See how it gets a lot lighter?
I think he's...
That's what we're going for that scene, so we're going to keep that in there. We got the footsteps back in there. What are we missing? There's something missing here. I mean, there's a lot of shit missing, obviously, but... Okay, so let's see what chains we got. Maybe we could use the pull here. I kind of want to speed ramp into that sound, I think. This one's a little better. It matches the motion pretty well. Chain pull, chain saw. I kind of like just that one sound. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's see what other metal. Let's go back to metal. See if I got any metal things. ASMR chains. Okay. 5 hours. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'll check it out. Yep. What happens if I put a reverb on it? You know what I mean? Maybe we're so dependent on the echo. We'll do a high frequency cut. That's on the right track. That one right there. I got it. So we're going to... That echo... Yeah, I think it was the echo that we were missing. We weren't able to visualize it without the echo. And now that we have that, now we can come in here. Now we can go into effect controls. Now we can do things like, let's see what the pitch shifter does. I know we were talking about that. Okay, so it was the effects. We weren't able to visualize the effects or envision the effects of what it sounds like. So, I mean, now we're getting more into design. I think it was the echo that we weren't able to visualize or envision or, think of or hear. We couldn't hear it before we heard it. Does that make sense? So, for example, if I come here... Actually, we'll just make this a lot easier on ourselves. We'll take this effect. We'll actually get rid of those on there. I know exactly what I did, so no worries. We'll come up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to track mixer. So everything chain. A chain is 19, 20, 21, and 22. That's everything chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to 19, chain, 20, 20, 22. So Oh, I can't create. Okay, so we're going to create a send. We're going to create probably a stereo submix is what we want. So now that submix track is going to come over here. This is a little technical, so I don't know if you guys are going to completely understand, but we're going to call this chains, okay? Now, everything on this chains track, now what we're going to do is called busing. We're going to bus everything to this track. What that means is all of the tracks that have chains on them, we're going to send to the chains channel. We are going to bus this. We're going to lock number 23. So see how it blends out. So all of these are going to be bussed to our submix, which is over here. But what's going to happen is we send everything here, and then we come up here. Then this is where we do our effects. We'll go studio reverb, come up here to reverb, and then we'll do exactly the same effect. And what I want to do is solo those. Well, I guess we'll just mute everything and solo except the chains. That's weird. I forgot. There's got to be. I forgot the way to control from the track. Right, so if we, right, but on top of the studio reverb, we also want a pitch shifter, and then from the pitch shifter, we will come down here, and we will drop. Now we have, okay, and then the studio reverb. Let's go back to the effects of the reverb. And what this is going to do is this is going to affect all of these tracks at once. And I know we want to affect all these at once, but honestly, with some of these effects, because they're close up, we might not want the full reverb. I shouldn't really be doing this. I should really be placing all the sound, but I'm just trying to get an idea. Where's parametric filter EQ? So with parametric, we want to do the parametric before the pitch shifter and the studio reverb, because we want to cut the frequencies out immediately, meaning if we cut the frequencies out while it's buzzing and echoing and reverbing, we're not going to be able to access all of them. So we want to do the equalizer before, and we'll just do a little bit of a high pass right over it. And so this is what it sounds like without it, right? And this is what it sounds like with it. So we kind of lose some of those high tinks, right? This is what the low ends boosted sound like. You hear it more in that. So now if we go back to this one in the beginning. So see, we're going to need different echo for a lot of these shots. So mixing really doesn't work completely right now, meaning going through and doing that. We are going to want different reverb and different effects on different chain layers, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're not ready for that. And honestly, that will probably give a little bit of the highs back. So that's more or less the effect we're going to do. We're not going to do it yet. Let's get rid of all this. We're not going to use it right now. But just so we know, that's what they're going to sound like with the sounds we have. So I think we'll be okay. Lanterns. Now, it's hollow metal. It's very light metal, right? And it's kind of like on a pulley. It's like, Those are the sounds we're going to want to locate. So let's start from the top. Chain, we'll put lantern right under this. And we will call this lantern. So I think what we're going to do is we'll introduce the lantern with like a catching of the fire, to show that they lit their lanterns, kind of a deal. Lanterns. Let's just see if I have anything. If that's real fire and he drops the lantern, would there not be fire on the ground, Michael? And the lantern sway, I think we almost need a toned down version of that kind of fire swaying sound when the characters swing a stick to fire and monsters. Yes, I agree. We'll probably have to rip that from online, honestly. I don't think, well, maybe not. I might actually have it in my design pack. That's raw audio. I don't know what that's doing there, but that's okay. Gravel, footsteps, food, eggshell. Yeah, we don't really know that one. Grabs, okay, metal. We'll put it in chains. Okay. So let's go to fire. Probably the best move, Mike. I don't mind this one. No. 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 That's what we want right there. This is what we need. The fire torch. We'll use both of those. So I have some good fire. Into a fire. Okay, and we'll instead of doing the metal, we'll do the fire. And then we'll do the metal last. Because the fire is obvious. Like, you know what that sounds like. The metal, not so much. So we'll probably bring that down a little bit. So that's pretty close up, though. I don't know if we'd want that. We'll probably throw a low pass on it. And it's really like a flame. It's not even that much of a roar, but let's just take the low pass off of it. Or let's cut out those low ends. Bro, what if we brought in some like current sound design trends, like kicking out of a low pass? So like... Ready? So you're here. Okay, that'd be kind of cool. I might want to do some of that. Also, it's not a fucking... it's not a low pass. It's a high pass. Sorry. Pass. My brain is fried. So this is more or less what I envisioned. You know, they're not over blaring. They don't take over. I almost want more of the match sound, though. Like the fire, that's too much. I don't want to have to cut. I don't want to have to do a high pass. So let's do this. Light fire. Do I have light fire? Let's see. Matches. Lighter and match. I literally have a lighter and match folder. That's beautiful. Yeah, we want it to burn. That's so insane. So we know we're gonna need some kind of light. I like the light sound. Let me see, lantern. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to EQ the shit out of this one. I don't know if I want that much emphasis on the lanterns. Does that make sense? Right, so in this shot, when we cut to this shot, yeah, it is too much. I'm almost okay with it because we need cave room tone. So let's put in some room tone before we jump back into there. Oh, I kind of want to change it. Okay, hold on. Let me look at something. I know we're jumping ship a little bit. Give me a sec, guys. We're going back to this door. I know I love the door because it worked so well. But, dude, those sounds have character. We'll keep it. We'll keep those in. But I just want to hear what this one sounds like, too. And he moves it. It sounds so heavy. And then he just moves it. Oh, whatever. But with that sound effect, guess what gets... It fills the screen. So we know they're opening the door. It fills the screen. And then that leaves room for the lantern. So we actually have a little more leeway with the lantern than we thought. Kind of like that, but I don't like how it fades out. I know I started with room tone, but... So see how we kind of just fade out? The atmosphere of that is pretty good too, actually, with the rumbling. But for a progress check, here's what the timeline looks like. So we're slowly building. Room tone's gonna fill it. It's just finding what the room... I think we make a dark, deep rumbling the room tone. And that's kind of what I rely on all the time. I wanted to stay away from it, but I think we'll just make a deep, dark rumbling the room tone. And I'll show you what I mean. Rumble. It's just like a really... it's bassy. That's what it's titled. Bass rumble. Yeah, so this... I don't like that. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're hot. Boom, like that. So I think this is going to be our room tone, or just the ambience, because now I'm starting to second guess some of the stuff, but that's okay. So let's build it out a little more. Actually, probably not that one. The water droplet should be here, right on his back. Actually, it should be here. Okay, we'll denoise it really quick because that's throwing off that cut. So we'll do a denoiser. Cut that out. So he has room tone, right? I need that room tone. So this is more ambience. I need that room tone right there. Let's do this. We'll look for the room tone. If we don't have room tone, I'm killing Josh. Okay, so that's room tone 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
great. All right, we're going to do a quick quiet on set for room tone so we can be done with our day, everybody. 30 seconds. And on music.
All right, and sound speed.
Oh, I miss Alex's divaness. Okay, so that's room tone. Room tone is going to fill, like Lita and I have discovered, it's going to fill all the shit that we're missing. Okay, so that's just location. There's no mix left and mix right, so we'll just take track 1. If you guys didn't know what was going on, basically when you record audio professionally, you're going to have multiple tracks. Track 1 is going to be your lav track, meaning the microphone that's closest to your actor. Track 2, that'll be your other actor. Track 3 will usually be your boom. And track 4, it just depends. Usually it's just lav and boom. There's usually no other microphones. Maybe you might have a second boom if it's a big scene, if it's a big ensemble cast. We've had that a couple of times, but so I just need to find the boom. I just need to find the boom sound or whatever sound, this one specifically, which it really should be mono, meaning there should really not be 2 stereo channels here. So I really should go through that and see, like this one was recorded with 32 tracks, 32 channels, but you're only operating in 2 of them. So yeah, you have to load up both of it. Yeah, so okay, not a big deal. And so this is what the room tone does. It's very slight, but it just fills in those empty spaces. And it's going to fill in this space right here that we lose. The only problem is that this sound, he's got like pursed lips. I'd like to hear it come out of his nose, which is a little different. So let me see, like a metal door opening or something, just like metal creaky metal. That's where I want the beginning of that sound to come in. Like the door slowly slamming behind him. Yep, I think we want to go that route. It's a little, I know it's a little later on in how we're supposed to be running, but I like that a lot. Fuck. They are fucked. Okay, so we're getting some cool shit. Rawr. And then we can use it to fade out, right? Boom, nailed it. But this is when you would pan. So we'd start here at -50, which means it's going to push 50% of the sound to the left. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to set up this right here. And we're going to let that come back to the middle at 0. And so that's what the panning does. When you're mixing in 5.1, that means you're mixing in 5 speakers. Speaker here, speaker here, speaker here, speaker here, and speaker here right in the middle. And so what you'd hear is that go woo, 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 woo. You'd hear it pan, but all you're doing here is hearing it go from left side to the right side. And so we just want to pan that in a little bit. And actually, we could probably do a little more if I'm honest. And so I don't like having these pans. Actually, we don't want it completely there, -90. I don't like having these pans when I'm starting my mix. I like to do them myself. You don't pan shitty stuff. You pan good stuff. And so here, all that would go here is room tone. So we'll bring the room tone back. And now that room tone is going to carry out this gap. Yeah, we'll probably have to use design sounds to do that. I think we're on the right track. I don't want to end it just yet. I think that's what I missed right here, is that there needs to be some ducking, and this goes with leveling. Yeah, right there. We'll use that as a reason to duck. Because now we're focused in. We're going to save it. We're going to kind of take a step back, see where we're at. We still need to do the lanterns, the blood splatter. But I think as of right now, guys, I think I'm kind of out of fuel, out of fire. So I think we're going to take a break. I'm going to cut the stream, and we'll jump back on tomorrow. 9 hours and 42 minutes. So my weekly report is now LifeStealer. LifeStealer has been 14 hours of my day. Lita, Michael, you guys are fucking gangsters. Thanks for sticking in this with me. I appreciate it. Pieces.